experience, are men open to taking instructions from women? Men in the business in any capacity.
You want us to do this alphabetically? Ascending, descending order.
I'd say that there's a little bit of nudge, nudge, wink, wink that happens with a lot of men, and they may snigger. But I think beyond that, like when women are in positions of authority, they command a certain respect.
I think that it's the first day that determines whether men are going to snigger at you or not. I mean, they might in their heads want to actually, kind of put you down. But the moment you show that you mean business and you are good at what you do, then I think there is a great amount of respect. I would say that in personal life, I would say it's different. Like on a film set, on a film set, it's much more easy for men to take orders from women.
Yeah.
Definitely in personal life, we have much more of a struggle where this authority is concerned rather than on a film set. I think now on a film set, people are much more attuned to
Yes.
taking orders from women, especially women who know their jobs bloody well.
Out here, we are at a certain position which commands, by virtue of the position that we are at, it commands respect. And if we don't like someone, we can ask them to leave. We choose our crew and you're fired. We can say that. But the real test is what's your journey along, and how you are respected as an individual who has an opinion with or without power. Sadly enough, in that situation, gender does have a role to play because you're not taken that seriously. It's very simple, but it's at a very subliminal level that it's a part of the patriarchy is sort of part of our DNA, but the DNA needs to change.
When I started, I was very young, and I'm always kind of dressed a certain way, and I'm always like laughing, and I don't come across as somebody who's very serious or trying to show that she knows everything. I always underplay that. I'm just happy-go-lucky. So constantly, when I was crewing for my first film, when I was trying to make it, I just felt like everybody was like, what is this girl going to do? She just flounces around in a dress and giggles all the time. Like, what does she know? In Bombay still, it's different, there is a certain level of, it's okay, women can give orders, but like you go in further inside and then there, so they're just not used to just this girl coming in, wearing some dress and just ordering everybody around. I don't think my male contemporaries had to deal with that because they were just, oh, he's the director and, oh, he's young, so that's even cooler.
For the first time, I think I ever felt that I was a woman who was in a male-dominated area was when I probably went for a shoot and we had to go to someone's house. And we kind of had to see the, view from there and stuff like that. The man just kept refusing to talk to me. He kept addressing the cameraman. And the best beauty of everything is I wouldn't let that happen. So I kept butting in and answering back. And he just kept looking down. So after a point, I was like, why? And he has a daughter in his house and he has all of that. And then, sheepishly he turns to me and he's like, actually, we never knew that women also can be directors. And I was like, welcome to the new age. So sometimes you have those moments, but then you take it in your stride and you just try in your own sweet way to, make them understand.
I agree with Tyra. All of us here are really privileged, and I also work in a company that has an almost 50-50% ratio male and female, not just globally, but also in India. I don't see that in a daily interaction. I think what Renuka was also saying was that basically we are, once you're in the crew or in this business, there is a certain amount of understanding of designation, position that, just solves it. But I say no a lot more than I say yes. And I find that more and more female creators want to know what is not working. Whereas I think a lot of the male creators, not all, but a few, want to know if they can speak to my boss, but she's also a woman. So,
Srishti, the position that you are in, you make the toughest decisions. You call the shots. So much is on your head and the eyes are on you, what you would decide, what would click to you. Have you ever felt, I would want to know that being a woman, your opinions or decisions on something or maybe an argument that you're having is not being taken seriously only because of the gender?
The only one time that I can think of immediately is that there's this kind of action superhero kind of universe that somebody wanted to talk about, and I think he kept saying that maybe it's not your type of film. And then, of course, I went back to the history of the comic books that I watched. And fortunately for me, because if he had spoken about car racing, I would have been like, yeah, maybe not. You don't know when you've missed out on somebody's vision yourself, but you do the best you can and you try and do it, completely devoid of any agenda. We're just so privileged that we have more women coming forward with their stories, with their point of views. And that's all that you try to focus on. But still, problem of plenty is better than problem of scarcity, I suppose.
One thing that really happens with women creators, because it's like they just cannot breathe, because the society would always want to put them in boxes. If Kashvi wants to make this comedy, this dramedy, then of course a woman would make a light subject. While if Aisha delves into a thriller space, a woman can make that also. And now how do we take that seriously? So it's like whichever genre you go for, or if Renuka is telling a story of 3 women, of course a woman creator making a film on women empowerment with 3 women, strong women. These are the labels that we just cannot get rid of, and we would want that ideally to be. How do you, if all the creators here can tell me, in your own journey, how have you kind of navigated these boxes and these stereotypes?
Just to always play like the neutral card for me, at least that's what I've done, which is that I don't want to be just a woman director. And therefore I reject being like the onus put on me to just tell a particular kind of story. I want to tell the stories that I'm interested in telling. I mean, like, why don't we ask men, why don't they talk about why so many men rape? But they can write all sorts of stories. They can write stories about science fiction, and they can write stories about like whatever. Women want to do the same. We want to tell all sorts of stories. And if your question is like, how do we do more of that, is actually because of platforms like Netflix and OTT that, you just get women more in positions of telling different kinds of stories and making different kinds of work. So
we're just used to being judged, whether we are filmmakers or not. कि आपने ये किया तो आपको judge करेंगे, आपने वो नहीं किया तो आपको judge करेंगे. We even are overcritical about ourselves.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think, when I have been an actor, for example, for the longest time, I have been on sets where my intelligence is not taken seriously, or if I just happen to show my intelligence, which is what I would if I'm just speaking normally, people would feel very, kind of put off by that. You're basically meant not to show all of that on the set. So one has, gone through that as an actor. So as a filmmaker, I'm not going to judge myself at all. I'm not going to give anybody the right to, put me in any box.
Every woman here and every woman creator who's actually about to build out or is building out a legacy of the titles that they're working on and the stories that they're telling is kind of immune to this. You have to understand that. I mean, something as casual as what Sonam just said, right? She said, I'm bossy. You're never going to hear a male panel say that, I'm arrogant, I'm bossy, it's just that like, okay, that's the label, right? That's the easiest way for me to explain it. Yeah, I'm bossy. But they figure it out eventually. Or for Kashvi to say that, yeah, sure, they're screaming and shouting, but they know it's for the right reason. The things that we take for granted, without even, because these were not the points that they were trying to make. These are just the casual statements that come out and the acceptance of it.
The beautiful part is like sitting in this room only, I just feel each one of us has our own identity. We don't adhere to any box. It comes across in the way we talk and the way we write and the kind of stories we're telling and making. And let's just celebrate that. Yeah. I don't think we should expect anybody to adhere to a kind of box.
Tyra, you also come with that baggage of that label that, she is also the wife of a star, of a superstar. Which, of course, I mean, that's your personal life, but
there's
how it is.
There is a profile. Don't you know that the profile is star wife? Meko questions were, how do you feel like a star wife? And okay, then what is a star wife? What's the profile? What's the qualification? So I still have to understand very, very honestly speaking. मुझे खुद ही नहीं समझ आया है इसका मतलब क्या, definition क्या, वो identity कैसे, and also it's belittling and belittling the other women when you just say that these are star wives or whatever, even though somebody might protest or some might not. But I just feel, again, label hi hai na yaar.
I just feel like if you don't pay my rent, then I don't care about your opinion. Like,
Yeah, so I think actually I'm glad they put us in a box, because at the end of the day, we're going to break out of that box. And that's when the real explode will happen. And yeah, I mean, I'm saying the story I want to. Maybe tomorrow I want to write a thriller. Maybe tomorrow I want to write a horror comedy. Maybe tomorrow I just still want to make a dramedy. I have the damn opinion and the right to. And no one can tell me what to do or not.
Honestly feel because of our lens, we have also created genres. You know, like I was just thinking when she was talking, like how about Bulbul? Had it not been for a woman producer and a woman filmmaker, this genre won't have been there where you're actually empathizing with a ghost. I was blown away with the concept, and that goes for both the movies, Pari and that. It's so beautiful, but had it not been for a woman filmmaker and producer, I don't think we would have seen. So we are not just breaking boxes, we're creating new genres.
I think it's a very male habit to put and organize things in boxes. And that's the way that they sort of deal with chaos. And I think women like embrace it in a very different way. So you'll find a lot more fluidity with women, even in the understanding of boxes. And maybe this whole idea comes from like journalism from men.
We talk about feminism a lot. We talk about progressive stories about women and feminism, which is intersectional, which is not just about upper caste women. It is about everyone. When we talk about sets or studios, as creators and heads, how do you make sure that your system is feminist enough? And it's not just about having 50% women. It's also about the treatment that is met to those women and their concerns. So a lot of, you must be aware how recently there's a lot of debate about including more Dalit actors, crew members, so that the gaze is inclusive. So as creators, could you talk to me about that as well? How conscious are you? Because now this is your setup, and you are the boss.
Inclusion and diversity is a very important part of Netflix. And I'd like to take it a step further and say it's also very good for business. Because most people want to see their lives reflected on screen. And you want to see stories being told that either transport you or make you see a jhalak, as we say, a glimpse of yourself or people that you know. And that's only going to come by having that kind of a lens on everything. The only thing I take a little bit of umbrage for sometimes is that when people expect that mainstream is not part of diversity, which I must insist is, because diverse in itself means everything. And just because you're expected to be diverse, it doesn't mean you're alternate. That's a totally different thing. So having said that, we are trying to be as mindful, and I think having women working in different capacities also makes them a lot more inclusive, because it's a paid forward thing.
To have perhaps more, Dalit women, Dalit men working for you, to have that inclusive lens, because whatever we do perhaps would come from a privileged gaze, and to while telling a story maybe. So are you quite mindful of that, conscious of that?
I'll talk about it in a very individual capacity. So of course, in my own experience of life, I'm aware that I'm viewing life from a perspective and the privilege that I am born into. At an individual capacity, started a cinema collective, and one of the ideas is to have to be aware of the inclusion and include people about what you're talking about, diversity and inclusion.
If I was writing a story of a particular class or section that I don't belong to, then I would definitely look out for somebody who is a representative of that class or, economic background or whatever. But till now, I haven't done that personally. So to just say that on our set, I am not looking out for, kind of 30% this and 20% this. Definitely not. But without doing that, all our sets are extremely inclusive. As a person writing a story about something else, I would definitely look out for that kind of inclusion because that is required. I am not a kind of person who would want to culturally appropriate any space because it will always be a gaze of privilege, and I would not want that for that story. But if I am telling stories about what I'm comfortable with, what I have grown up with, which is what I have done so far, then I will not kind of, interview people, what is your color of feminism, where do you come from?